Good afternoon. Welcome to Midcap Radar. I'm Reema Tendulkar. For the markets, we've slipped from the day's high. We're currently down 0.4% on the benchmark index. The high in the Nifty was around 1130 when the Nifty went to levels of 17,877. So from that level, we've lost about 50 odd points on the index. But again, we're still very much in that trading range through the course of this week. In fact, this week, as things currently stand, the Nifty is down close to about 0.2% week to date. But the action is in the broader market. So the broader market outperformance continues, and the mid-cap index is outperforming today. And for the week so far, it's up close to about 2.2%. So the mid-cap index has outperformed the Nifty by nearly 2.5% so far this entire week. Let's quickly run you through some of the stocks in the sectors under pressure. The Nifty Metal Index has been weak for the second day in a row, and today as well, the Nifty Metal Index is down 1.5%. FMCG and IT stocks too under pressure. But let's get chatting about LIC. It is India's largest insurance company. It's the largest institutional investor in the country, and they reported their Q3 numbers yesterday. Yash Chen caught up with Mr. Kumar, chairperson of LIC, to discuss in detail about the company's Q3 performance, concerns related to the Adani issue. Yash began by asking about the company's VNB margin in Q3. Listen in.
We started off around 9. Last quarter was 14.6. It continues to be 14.6. There is a very fractional increase which we have not talked about. So it could be slightly more than that 14.6 now, but it is 14.5 and 14.57 then. So we would like to see that grow a little more. And as I have said earlier, that we would like to end the year at maybe 16, 17 or closer to 20 if possible. But then over the next 2-3 years, we would like to achieve the benchmarks already set by the industry.
Correct. I want to talk to you a little about the embedded value. Of course, this is the third quarter, and you would be disclosing the EV at the end of fourth quarter, end of financial year. What I want to understand is that this is the last quarter of the year before you disclose your EV. 8% of your equity investment book has seen some sort of battering, if I would say that, in the Adani Group stocks. Market hasn't done very well as far as investments are concerned. EV at the end of fourth quarter, could it get negatively impacted because of these reasons? And in fact, could it be lower than H1?
I don't see this, the market fluctuations having a negative effect on the EV. I don't see that at all. But even though we have not done the EV calculation, our senses and the basic internal calculations that we have done, that we will be able to show growth on the 540 EV that we saw at the beginning of the year. How much it is going to be, I will not be able to say, but definitely that it will grow.
Okay. A little about what you also alluded to, that is the non-par segment of individual business. I remember when the listing happened, initially you had given the target of having 10% of individual business as non-par. You have sort of achieved that. You're at about 9.5%. Once this 10% target is achieved, what is the next target on the non-par business of the individual part? And what will be the timeline of achieving that next milestone on this one?
So if we end the year at, let's say, 12 to 13%, so I'm saying 12 and let's say 88, something like that. But by next year end, the FY24, we would like to take it to 20 to 25% of the total non-par.
Okay. I want to understand this from you, and putting LIC's investment style into this particular question. At one point, you were left with about 12,000 crore of investment gain in Adani stocks, which was 51,000 crore, as I said at one point. When do you decide that now it's time to act? You are contrarians, you are long-term investors. But what situation is an exceptional situation when you tell yourself that now some action needs to be taken on those investments?
So we will have to take it as it comes. I mean, this is too short a period to take a call on whether I have to take a call. As you rightly said, we are contrarian, we are long-term. But what is short and what is long is a definition that keeps changing, and it can keep changing. But in this particular case, I think we will be sitting down and working out some more time. I mean, wait some more time and see what happens. It is too short a period to take a call. That's all I can say.
Correct. You also committed 300 crore as far as the FPO is concerned under anchor investors. Today, that same stock the same value that you saw in the stock is available at 40% cheaper as far as open market is concerned. Does it not make sense to you, to your investment team, to actually go out and invest that 300 crore or more in buying the stock from open market now, since you were interested earlier?
That's a very leading question. So, I mean, stock specific, I cannot take a call. I mean, again, as you said, it's the investment department to decide what we need to do. But as of now, we are not thinking of doing anything.
One last question on this issue. We had reported this last week, which was that LIC management was expected to speak to the management at the Adani to understand what is the strategy. Has that happened? If not, when is this conversation expected to happen? And very clearly, what would be 3 or 4 things that you would straight want to understand as the largest, one of the largest investor in those companies from the management of the Adani Group?
So we have reached out to them already. We have not met so far. We'll be meeting shortly. And I mean, I can't tell you what the questions we have in mind, but then the questions that most investors have in mind and why this market collapse has happened is one of the things that we would like to know from them, and several other things which they would like to explain to us.
A very fundamental question. We are right now at a stage when the insurance regulator, the companies, all of them are focusing on increasing the insurance penetration. How do you increase the premium that you collect? Now, at this point of time, the government has announced taxing the large premium policies. Do you think it's the wrong time to have this decision, and it may impact the scope that the regulator had, that companies had about increasing premium?
I wouldn't be able to comment on the reason why it has been done, but then the outcome of this is only long term. I mean, it's not going to be immediate. Someone who's paying a 5 or 10 lakh, and tax burden on him will come later on. Maybe
and the revenue for the government will also come later on.
Will come later on. So I don't see how it is going to impact industry as of now immediately, because for LIC at least, as I told you, we continue to sell the other tickets, the smaller tickets, in a big way. So I don't know. Beyond this, there is nothing much actually.
Okay, just to continue from where you stopped, you said LIC largely sells smaller tickets products. But do you think any company in this industry after this announcement is completely safe or relatively immune to this announcement? The reason why I ask you this thing is, assuming that I've bought 4 lakh policy from a private life insurance company, I buy another 2 lakh from LIC. Though it does not count in your large ticket policies, but what gets taxed is that 2 lakh policy, right? So you technically do get impacted. So can we today confidently say that one company is less vulnerable, one company is more vulnerable, or all the companies in this decision are standing at the same point where all of them are equally vulnerable?
So my sense is that, I mean, we'll have to wait for the circular to be released for this, because we really don't know. Taking your own example of 4 plus 2 lakhs, if it's taken on the same day from 2 different insurance companies, so which one gets taxed? I mean, so we do not know really. Ultimately, it is the customer who is going to get taxed, and not from the policy. So whether once the instructions come, once there is clarity on this, only we will be able to respond to that.
The insurance amendments which were proposed by the government are expected to be taken in the budget session. One important one is composite license. You've told us in the past that you're ready to enter the health insurance space. You're wanting to do that. Your infrastructure is coming together. One very fundamental question that I want to understand from you: does it make sense for LIC to invest in that infrastructure, get a separate license, establish itself from scratch, or is it more beneficial to sort of merge one of the PSU insurance companies or the 3 unlisted insurance companies, general insurance companies, into LIC and directly have a entry into the sector and operate?
So in terms of part 1 would be simpler, because I believe we don't have to spend too much on the infrastructure. We were already selling health insurance. In the past, regulator had allowed us to sell. It was withdrawn later on.
All right, that's the word coming in from the LIC chairman. Important comments out there. We'll keep talking about LIC and the entire market as well. But for now, we'll slip into a break. Up next, we'll be joined by Mr. Srinivas Reddy, who's the MD at MTAR Technologies. He's reported good set of Q3 numbers. We'll discuss it in greater detail.